You are officially in the loop. You are now officially in the loop. Let's get to it. Okay, guys, welcome back to In the Loop podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Jo Hollabaugh, and I am here today with the many-time world champion, WRWC, and also, world champion breakaway roper, Martha Angelone. Martha, thanks for coming back to the show today.
Thanks for having me, Jordan.
Martha was the very first guest on In the Loop podcast, so it was kind of cool. We had like a cell phone. We were sitting in the front of a Dodge truck at the circuit finals, so we have evolved a lot since then. We look younger, although we're more experienced, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It's definitely a lot different now than whenever we were sitting in the truck and we had to tell Raymond to get out for a minute.
I know. We're like, hey, Raymond, scram. He said, what are you guys doing? We said, we're doing a podcast. He said, what's that?
Yeah,
I'm like,
had
we'll
no
explain
idea.
later. Yeah, we'll explain later.
We'll draw you a big picture.
Big picture, yeah. He's a visual person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, Martha's been working on Raymond, so a little backstory for you guys that are not breakaway ropers, and are breakaway ropers. You've probably heard Raymond yell his iconic "okay" and or "yeah" when somebody goes through the barrier. However, a lot of the times when I rope, he yells "yeah" and "okay," whether I get out or not. So Martha has been working on Raymond to make sure if he yells "okay," it's a sincere like, "Hey, you actually got out of the barrier."
I think he's learned just to be quiet and let me say yeah. That way he doesn't get in trouble.
That is very true. That is very true. Well, you
Yeah.
weren't at the jackpot last night, so unfortunately, he got in trouble. But yeah, I mean, no big deal. I won't blame you for not being at a jackpot.
I just told Raymond that whenever I go, don't yell yeah unless you see that it's not on the ground because you get my hopes up for nothing.
I know. It's very disappointing when Raymond yells "yeah" and you are like a 1 something and you turn around and it's a +10. It's very
Oh yeah.
disappointing. So
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's a +20 for us, but it's okay. Still
it's all
got
good
out
and
though,
fun
Raymond's
in breakaway land. So
yeah.
today we're talking about all things women's rodeo world championships. We are coming alongside In the Loop podcast is the official podcast again this year for the WRWC. We're very excited and we get to talk about really, really, really great events with a lot of money and some really good competitors. So I'm sitting here looking at your stats for the WRWC and the WCRA. Yeah, you're like, a 5-time world champion, an event champion, you head, you heel, you break away, and total lifetime earnings. This is such a cool number. Total lifetime earnings in the WCRA, $325,198.01. Isn't that cool?
Yes, ma'am. I hope to make it a little bit more pretty soon.
And so, I mean, lifetime earnings in the WRWC, which we've only been going on for a few years, it's amazing. This year, we're going to pay out over $800,000 in May to women-only event. It's the biggest women's event on the earth. If you're not entered, if you're not a part of it, you need to be. Your total lifetime earnings there are $228,148.51. That's almost a quarter. It is $250,000 in the women's rodeo world championships. What does that mean when you hear that out loud?
It's awesome. I mean, the chances that the women's finals have given us, it's unbelievable. Like you're going against 20 girls in the pro division, 20 to 30 girls in the pro division, and you have a chance of 60,000 in each event at the end of it. And honestly, you just got to go rope the best that you can and make your runs. Even if for some reason you don't draw the right calf, how their format is, or right steer, how their format is, you can get in so many ways to be able to get back to the final round, and it definitely makes it worth it going all year to try to get to this finals. And definitely whenever you get there, it's such a cool experience. Like last year whenever we had our short round, we got to do it at the PBR finals too at AT&T, and I mean, we were sitting back there cheering on bull riders that we didn't even know. I mean, we didn't even know what to do or what to say, and it was just so cool how we get wrapped up in all of that too, and we get to be put on all these platforms that we'd never get to see before. Like 2 years ago, whenever me and Jackie won the team roping, they actually presented us our checks and presented us the PBR bull riding finals. They brought us up in the middle of the stage, in the middle of the arena during the finals event, and introduced all the new champions for that week.
Well, and just the fact that, like, I think that everybody doesn't understand. If you haven't been there, you probably don't understand what a big deal that is for us as women's athletes. Like the PBR, obviously one of the biggest shows on stage there is today, with top riding athletes, top bulls, top production, all the things. So the AT&T is jam packed. There are so many people in there, and then we get to come in and you are actually presented your award for winning the team roping in breakaway, however many 5 times you've been up there. To get that in front of AT&T, in front of all those fans, and get that recognition for the hard work, that it really just means so much to us as women to be given the opportunity to be right beside and on that same platform as the guys.
I agree, and the money's life changing too. The women's finals changed my life in 2022, and honestly, if we have to go back to the statistics, I that's the reason I get to pro rodeo every summer is because of the women's finals and the WCRA. The opportunities that they have given us through the VRQ qualifiers, through Corpus, through North Carolina, through the women's finals are unreal. Like a lot of people don't understand everything, but it's something that if you don't understand, you need to learn about it and learn how to get in it and get involved because it is an opportunity that will change your life.
So let's talk about people not understanding it. So how, I mean, you have 30,000 points already this year in the breakaway roping. And I think you look at that number and you think, "Oh my gosh, Martha must just nominate everything she goes to." You don't. So how let's talk a little bit about how you've learned all about the WCRA, and then we'll talk about how you go about nominating the events that you do.
Okay. One of the events I usually just nominate during the week, I nominate the two jackpots we always go to, Mike's and Granbury, and then I go to one in Tarleton. And then sometimes I'll go to one on Thursday nights too. And they're 50, $25 to nominate. And at the end of the week, I'll spend maybe $100 on nominating. But those are just my little nominations that I do whenever a big event rolls around, like women's finals, like Corpus, like one of the qualifier series, Houston, San Antonio, Fort Worth, like any of the bracket style rodeos, whenever you have a really good chance of placing and have a couple chances at placing, that's whenever I'll put the money up to be able to get more of those points. The qualifier series are a great way for women to make points too, especially towards the women's finals side of things. It's not so much on the WCRA side, but for the women's finals, they give a ton of points away. Like even if you don't place in the round and you're a couple out of placing, you're still going to get points for that run. And I don't think girls realize that. And then at the end of it, you have a chance of getting an automatic spot into the finals where you don't even have to nominate anymore if you don't want to. I
Right.
still nominate because I'm in the all around race, and it's really great idea to have a head start before you go into the finals because they give so many points away at the finals. It's unreal. So you have to have a decent gap right there so you have a good chance in the end to win it.
So you obviously pro rodeo breakaway and breakaway in general is your main event, right? That's what you do. That's where you travel all over. You pro rodeo, you amateur rodeo, jackpots, anything and everything you can physically get to. You're headed there.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have 1,100 points in the heading, and you have 700 points in the healing. So you're pro heading, pro healing. You're in the top 20 there. So you're going to qualify to get into this year's top 20 and compete in all those events. So how do you work on, yes, breakaway is your main event, but how do you get your heading in there? How do you get your healing in there? Find your partners, get your points. Like, how do you focus on that throughout the year and strategize?
I'm lucky that a lot of my partners, whenever it comes to like the women's events or like the all girls are all breakaway ropers too. So they don't have like their specific partners. They always rope at all those. And I can kind of drag my sister in, whatever, and I need her to do, whether she likes me that day or not. But I try to go to all the good all girls that I can. Like the BFI, they used to have one at the Patriot for us. Like there's US finals, there's a World Cup in Oklahoma City. There's a bunch of things. Like before the Honda Rodeo started too, you could always get a bunch of points at the WPRA finals. Is a great place for girls to nominate for that kind of stuff and everything like that. Like you have to take all the chances you can, especially when it comes to team roping if you're a breakaway roper for life, because it's kind of hard to go away and get those points. But that's whenever those qualifier series really come into play, because you can just do good at one of them. Like me and Jackie won Hamilton the other day, and it was a qualifier series. So technically, I don't even have to nominate again on the head side. Am I going to? Yes, for all around points, but I don't have to nominate again for that. The healing side, I'm on the bubble right now, but after the points I got last weekend in Oklahoma City, I think I'll be in for sure. But that's just one of those deals at the end of the year. I always got to keep track of everything just to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row when it comes to making the finals in all three events.
And I think that one of the things that I want to stress enough is because this year I really focused on nominating all year long through for the women's event. And I'm strictly breakaway. I didn't quite make it into team roping this year, goal for next year. But if you do a little bit, like you said, once a week, every,
Yeah.
$50 a week, that's 200
Yeah.
bucks a month on nominating. You All those points add up and they all count. And so nominations for 2024, 2025 close April 13th, but
Yes.
they open up again April 14th. So
Yes.
April 14th all the way until now, until next year at this time, you have a chance to nominate. So I would say get started now. What is your
Yes.
advice to those people, and on how, I mean, I know you've talked about you nominate the rodeos. What if they don't have as many opportunities as we do down here in Texas? How would you go about that if you didn't have as many events that you had the opportunity to nominate and you lived somewhere else?
I would try to go through and nominate all the events that I possibly could. I'd also try to make it to where I could set myself up to go to some of those qualifier series, because if you're a breakaway roper, I think there's two of the qualifier series that are just in Vegas. And I mean, everybody usually makes a trip out to Vegas. All of Chris Niels's events are always qualifier series. The Kimes Ranch deal, I'm pretty sure the roping that they had down there was a qualifier series too this year in the outdoor arena. Like, there's so many opportunities where even if you're not in an area, like if I was still back home in Virginia, I would try to come out and make it to where I could go to those and get the points that I needed to give myself a chance. And if not, they do have a last chance qualifier right before the finals every year, that which you got to go down there and rope your butt off, don't get me wrong, but if I was you, I would give myself the shot at the money that you can have and the opportunities that you can have the week after. My sister, she's a little bit of a hard head, and she's going to hate me for saying this live, but I always told her to nominate heading, and so she can get in the women's finals. Her and Jesse Rimsberg won about every qualifier series there was one year that you could enter. Never nominated, never had a heading spot. Well, last year she went through the qualifier series roping at the very end, and she got in the healing actually with Michaela Bosley right in the end and made the finals. So if she would have listened to me like 8 months before that, she would have she would have gotten in already heading. But that's some things that girls will be like, man, it's $150 to nominate for the qualifier series. But you need to look at that like, hey, that's a rank opportunity. Like, you need to take that and run with it to be able to be on the stage where you can compete for this kind of money against women too. It's not like, I mean, we always team rope and stuff, but usually we're team roping against the guys if you go to a jackpot too. Like, this is an all girls rodeo and a chance for women to win 60,000 a piece in a team. It's not even like you're splitting it. You both walk away with 60,000, and you have to give yourself that opportunity, because I've seen stranger things happen. Whenever I was healing for Jamie Markham, I think it was either in 2020 or 2021. We made AT&T to the 6-man round, and only one team caught.
Yep.
That was Hope Thompson heading for Riley Smith, and they won 90,000 that year. And
Yep.
like I said, like, you have to give yourself that opportunity, because you never know in the end too how easy the last round's going to be. That year, you literally had to rope a leg to win 90,000. And that's the thing that I don't think women look at with that. They just look at the points and they look at this. But I feel like if you want to be in it, go to all the qualifier series that you can and try to make it to where you're set up to go into it. And if not, like I said, they have that last chance qualifier and everything. And just nominating. Like, people will look at my points and see that I don't know, I think I'm like 20,000 ahead in the breakaway right now, but they also don't realize at the end, whenever you win the world, they give you a $5,000 bonus whenever you just show up at the finals too. And that basically covers all my nomination fees, and it covers more than just that at the end. Like, all my nominations are taken care of, but you have to know how to set yourself up to get to that point as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one of the biggest thing you said is you have to know how to set yourself up and dive in. One of the biggest things that I like about the WRWC is that literally anybody and everybody will help you. If you have
Yeah.
questions, you can go at it. But this deal has turned to me, and I'm sitting here listening, and all the money, it's not just a one thing event now. It's an all year deal. It's literally they're giving away world champion header, world champion healer that have equal money, world
Yeah.
champion barrel racer, world champion breakaway roper. They're giving away all of those titles, all of this money. There's so many different ways to get it. There's so many incentives. We have the pro, we have the challenger. Like, literally, they've given everybody an opportunity to be a part of it. And not just that, it's not just Central. Like you said, you can go out to Vegas to compete. You can go
Yeah.
to North Carolina, which I know it's not a women's event, but still WCRA. There's Central,
Yeah.
there's North, there's South. Like, they've tried to accommodate us and give us every opportunity to compete on different stages that we don't really get to see all the time with pro rodeo or amateur rodeo or anything like that. There's a youth literally they've tried to make it something for everybody, and just to sit and like actually talk about the money. It's crazy to me why people wouldn't be a part of it. And I know that
Yes.
you're more focused on the pro side of things. We're going to talk a little bit on the challenger side of things a couple weeks from now with Miss Cricket.
Okay.
Um
Yeah.
Talk about what has is, looking back, what has been most rewarding for you in all the years you've competed at the women's finals? Just like quick one-off reflection.
I think the first year that I won the breakaway, that was the year that I didn't even own the horse that I was riding. That's whenever I broke Jesse James out the week before at Corpus, and between Corpus and that week of rodeos and the women's finals, I owed over 90,000 on him, and I called the guy that owned him and I said, "Hey, how much? I'm writing a check for him." And they thought I was crazy, but till today, I've proved myself that I wasn't crazy, and that was one of the best buys of my life. And that moment changed my rodeo career. It didn't just change my life at that moment, it changed my rodeo career, because that set me up for the year, and that set me up for that year that I won the world as well.
Yeah. And that is I mean, how it all ties in together, right? You get
Yeah.
that horse, you win 90,000, you win the world. Like, it was just it was awesome. It was a year to be remembered. Did you know that this year they're adding goat tying? So I know that back in your youth days used to be a goat tire. And next year they're talking about maybe actually making goat tying an event in the women's finals if they can get it done. We talked to Lindsay Rosser, Sammy Joe. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. Are you gonna like start stretching those hamstrings, Martha? Get going, get moving in the goat time. More all around points.
Yeah. I might just have to ask Hayden Thompson to borrow her goat tying horse, because I feel like I can still tie a goat. It probably will go a lot better than my calf roping did the other week. I have more confidence in the goat tying, but I was a full fledged goat tire back in high school, so you never know. I might have to break it back out, but I might
You
break a hip doing it.
focused and driven. Oh my. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it might break a hip though doing it. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
yeah, but let's not speak that over you. That would be painful. Um,
Yeah.
so we're getting ready, we're winding up. Obviously, nominations are closing. What is your biggest what's your focus the last push this last couple weeks of WRWC and finishing up this women's event strong with the points going into the finals?
I'm just gonna nominate I'm going to a jackpot on Sunday, and then probably will go to the two jackpots next week, and I will nominate those for being my last nominations for the women's finals. Like I said, I'm just gonna try to have as much points as I can going in for the all around, because I've made a mistake before and didn't know about how it was all year long, because I didn't have my ducks in a row. I wasn't paying attention. And I'm going to try to set it up to where I don't only get the $5,000 bonus, but I can also win the all around and get the $20,000 bonus whenever I show up over there as well.
Plus, you get to rope for 60,000 in 3 other events. So potentially win 120,000 plus the bonuses at the women's finals.
Yes. I think 2 years ago, it was in 2023, whenever I won the heading for Jackie, I ended up leaving the women's finals with 89,000. and that was life changing. I finally got to pay my truck off. I paid something else off. I don't remember what the other thing was that I paid off. It might have been my trailer. But like that's where I try to set myself up so whenever I leave those events, I can pay off a bunch of stuff before I go for the summer. That way I don't even have to worry about those bills at all whenever I'm out west. And I'm grateful for the women's finals.
All right, finishing up. So again, we have Fancy's burning questions. Lindsay
Okay.
Rosser Sumter brings these to us, and they're just a few of them because we do that for the 15 days of breakaway. Brought to you by the WRWC. We also wanted to throw in a few fun ones here for the women's event. We're getting ready, obviously, in May. But okay, Martha, if you were not an athlete, rodeo athlete, what would you be doing?
I mean, I went to school to be a physical therapist, but I never finished that out. So maybe that's what I would be doing. But
Doubtful.
I really don't know. I used to be a bartender. Maybe I'd still be that.
I literally remember when you were literally bartending, working, showing up to rope the next morning. Like it was all the things.
Thriving, baby.
Yeah, man, we've grown up. Okay, do you have any pregame rituals?
Yes, I do. Before I rope, I usually will rope the dummy and stuff and listen to my music at the trailer. And then before I ride in the box, some people might think that this is cliche, but I always pray before every single run that I make. I just think it's very important, and God has done so much for me in my life. So that's one of my pre-run rituals every single time.
I love it. What kind of socks do you wear to rope, and what kind of socks are you wearing right now?
Well, I got these white polka dot fuzzy socks on right now, not gonna lie. And I either wear just like the plain black Heinz socks, or I'll wear the Lucky Chuck socks too. I like their creativity on their socks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to get your lucky chucks on. Show me your socks. All right, and final question. We're gonna ask this for women and men. Okay, if you could pick your dream WRWC team roping, heading, and healing partners, who would they be, and why?
My dream team roping teams, if I could make any man be a woman, um, I think I would have to pick T Wade to head for me. And then I think I would have to pick either Coulter Todd or Junior to heel for me at the women's deal. Women, I would love to have Whitney DeSalvo or Jimmy Joe Montera healing for me. And heading for me, I would love to have Bev or Kenna Francis, or even if DeSalvo headed for me, I might miss the corner by 10 foot, but she always does a great job heading there every single time.
Yes, she does. Well, I mean, obviously, solid women's partners. They're all above champions and have had success at the Women's Rodeo World Championships. I'm going back to T Wade in a wig, like with hair. Maybe
I
that's
think he
something we
looks
do.
bussin'. I think he
Yeah,
looks
I mean,
bussin'.
maybe it's like we have like a women's pro-am, but they have to wear wigs or something cute.
I would love
Uh,
that. I would love to see them do that. I think there would be a few that would attend too.
Oh gosh, I mean T Wade and Junior in a wig, yeah.
It would be
I don't
lovely.
I don't know if we want to go there. I'm not just
It would
not
be like
sure.
Moats that one year when he dyed his beard pink at the
Beard
finals for Pink Night.
would be fun.
Oh yeah.
Okay, last and final question, Martha. What is the best
Okay.
piece of advice that anybody has given to you along your rodeo career?
Probably when I was a kid, never to give up, because I came from very humble beginnings, and I'm still not till today. A lot of people don't know that. And I had to work for everything I absolutely have. And there's been so many times I just want to kick the bucket and not keep going. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be on this podcast today. I wouldn't be anywhere where I was at today. So not to give up.
100%. I love that. Well, congratulations on all your accomplishments. Can't wait to see you at the 2025 Women's Rodeo World Championship Finals. It's going to be great. And yeah, we'll keep nominating. This is going to come out and air. And then, yeah, we'll see you in May.
And use Jordan's code.
Use my code, HallBall10. Yeah, save you money.
Yep.
Thanks, Martha.
You're welcome.